Yeah, hello everyone. So this is Jishan from Invent Model Technology Solution, and today we are going to learn about the Informatica MDM. So let's start. Yeah, so this is the course content we will cover in our training. So here we have the different topic related to the Informatica MDM. So first topic is that first we will learn what is Informatica MDM. Okay, and second, what are the use cases and what are the benefits of Informatica MDM? Okay, and then we will learn process flow, how the Informatica MDM works, and the next is tables. Means how many tables we have if we are doing something in the Informatica MDM. So how many tables we required and we have to create and automatically create it. So we will learn all about these tables. And then we have the landing process. So in the landing process, we will learn how the data will flow from from different sources to the landing, how we can store the data. And then we have the mapping. So in this, we will learn how we can connect different tables. Okay. And then we have the clean functions. So in Informatica MDM, we have different types of functions for filtering the data and for the validations. So we have different types of function we will learn in this. And then we have the stage process. So stage is a process. We will learn how it will work and how the data flow in this process. And then we have the trust and validation. So in the trust and validation, we will learn how we can set the trust and validation for a record and how we can get the golden record. So we will learn in this. And then we have audit, trial, and delta detection. So audit, trial, and delta detection we will learn in this topic. We will learn how the data we have according to our need. Suppose we want to get some particular data, so we can achieve using this. And then we have the load process. In this, we will know how the load process will work, how the data will go to the base object table. And then we have match and merge. So in this, we will learn how the uh, related record will match and how it will merge. Okay. Okay, so without wasting any time, we can start our session. So first topic we have what is Informatica MDM. So basically Informatica MDM nothing but it is just like a tool, and we can say it is a software that helps business to create and maintain the single and reliable record for each person. So it means suppose we have an entity, and same entity we are getting from different sources. So how we can manage it? So in this Informatica MDM we will learn, and that's why we are using Informatica MDM, because Informatica MDM validate the record, and it will we can say it will give us the golden record. Like suppose we are getting the data from different sources and we have the same entities. So how we can combine it and how we can get the correct data? Like here we can say that like suppose we have the golden record, we want to golden record, so we can use in our business purpose. So how we can get, because we are getting different record from different sources. Okay, so using the Informatica MDM we can achieve it. So we can get the golden record. Okay, so we will learn in this session. And this master data can be used to improve reporting, reduce errors, and make better business decision. So it means same like that. Suppose we want to uh, make some decision on the user's data. So we can create a master data for business purpose, and we can use in our requirement. Suppose we want to send something, so we have to require the golden record. No? Suppose we are getting the record one entity from different sources. Suppose three record we are getting of one entity. So first we have to create a master record, then we can send the email of this user. No? Without the master record, suppose we have three emails because we are getting three record from different sources. So we have to send the emails for all three emails. No? But if we have the golden record, then we can reduce our cost and we can reduce our time. So using this, we can send only one email on one emails. So that's why we are using. So next we have different types of benefits of Informatica MDM. Here we can see first we have data accuracy. So it ensures consistent master data. And next we have data security. So basically it helps protect data from unauthorized access. And then we have the data compliances. So it helps ensure compliance with relevant regulations. Okay. And then we have data reporting and data decision making. So these are the benefits of Informatica MDM. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yeah. So now we have, why do we need MDM? It is a big question for all of us. So basically here we can say, suppose companies collect data from multiple sources like CRM, ERP, and websites. But this data often has duplicates, and we can say we can get the missing values and some data and some errors in the data. So Informatica MDM helps by removing duplicates and fixing incorrect data and merging multiple records into a single record, which is called golden record, as I say. Okay. And providing a single reliable source of truth for data. So it means suppose as I told, we are getting from different sources uh, of one entity record from different sources. Suppose we have three record, but entity only one. So it will create it will create a one golden record for our purpose. So we can use in the business also. Okay. So I would like to invite Dhiren sir. Dhiren sir, can you give an example for this?
Yeah. Hello
Yeah.
everyone. So yeah, means basically we need MDM because this provides us the golden data, right? It helps business to get the single source of truth. So which means if there are any duplicacy and there are errors, those errors will get removed during the process of this, and then we get a single copy so that everyone can look into the single data instead of looking into the multiple data, which creates confusion. So this is what we have. How we get the golden data? Because we apply certain rules, cleanse functions, certain merge and match and merge of match and merge, uh, then we get single copy of the records. Okay, move to next.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the working of Informatica MDM.
So
So
how it
here we can
works?
see.
So basically,
Yeah.
it collects data. So basically, from the heterogeneous sources, we collect the data and put into our landing zone, and from the landing zone means then we do the cleaning of the data. We apply some cleansing functions which by which we remove the errors, remove the duplicate, and then later on we perform match and merge, right? So these match and merge, it helps us to combine the record into the single, and those records are accurate. and then stores and shares, provide a trusted data source for all the departments. So here we have typical means the short process how the MDM perform data loading to the golden data, right? So here in the first two databases, it denotes that we are having heterogeneous sources, be it the database or it can be a flat file or any other sources. It can be website also or some real-time systems and all. So these data is the outside data. It's not into the MDM. So the first of all we need to put these heterogeneous data, different data into the MDM system. For that one, we need some kind of ETL tools to perform the loading. So by using there are a lot of ETL tools are available in the market. So any tool can be used here to combine those multiple sources data into the landing zone and put into the landing tables in the Informatica MDM. After that, once we have data into the landing zone, then we can start our stage process. In the stage process, we load the data into the staging area where we apply certain rules like trust and validations, and also we remove some errors uh, using the cleanse functions and all those things so that it ensures that the data is clean and accurate. So once this stage process completes, we move to the next process that is called a load process. So during the load process, we move the data from the stage to the base object table by a certain pre-built job which is provided by the MDM. So after the load process, we need to do the consolidation because these data whatever loaded into the base object table is not the correct. There are a lot of the redundancy, duplicacy, and there are maybe repetitions. So to fix that, we need to consolidate those data so that we get the accurate data. But that one, we need to do the match. We need to set up the match rules, and based on the defined criteria on the match rule, it could be fixed match or fuzzy match. Those rules we will set up and then perform the tokenization process, and after once these things are done, we will do the merging. These merging can be auto or a manual, so it depends on how the business need this. So after merging this one, the golden data goes into the like the base object data goes into the different phases, like from different consolidation and indicator. It goes from 4 to 3, then 2, and then finally when we do the merge, it goes to 1. So 3 denotes to the uh, Q for matching, and then 2 denotes Q for merging. And once this happens, after that we get the golden data. Okay, Chisan, over to you.
Correct. Okay. Now we have the process flow. So this is the flow diagram, how the data flow from source to destination, means base object. So here we can see we have the source, then we have the landing area, then we have stage process, and in the stage process, we can use the cleanse functions. Okay, then it will create a stage table, and then we can perform the load. Here we can see, and after the load, the data will go to the base object. Here we can see, and these are the tables. We can see row tables, reject tables, staging tables. Suppose we are performing stage operation. So here row tables and reject tables will create. And if you are performing load process, then XF table and system control table, ST tables and reject table. So these tables will create, and then the data will go to the base object. So that is the flow, okay, of data, like how the data, sorry, how the process work in the MDM. Am I correct, the answer?
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yeah, here we have the different tables, and sir, you
Okay,
want to explain it?
yeah, so basically, to from loading to create a golden records. Our MDM has certain fixed tables which is used during the process. So we are here. We have listed some of the tables which are doing the intermediate operations to complete these processes. So landing tables basically we denotes with L, and it stores the data from the like source system to the landing area. So raw table, it holds clean and formatted data for further processing. Basically, it stores the history of the stage. Stage table, temporary storage for transform data before loading into the base object table. So base object table, it stores the final copy of the MDM consolidated record, which is also known as the golden record. So cross reference is the like child table for base object, child table for the base object, and it has the direct linking from the stage table. So if any changes happens in the stage table, this will be this is the table which identifies if there are changes and then load data into the base object table. Match tables, actually during the match process the data gets means created in this table, and it is stored there. Once the merging happens, this table gets truncated. So merge history, and also when merging happens, the data from the match table gets moved to the HMRG table, which is just to track the history of the merge records for the audit purpose. And we have also the history table, which start from match underscore. This history table stores the history of the base object table. We move to next.
Yeah. And we have the landing process. So in the landing process, we can say we are getting the data from different sources. Suppose you have the data in CRM, you have the data in different source. So you can combine this data in the landing table. So this process is called landing process. So here we can see the landing process transfers data from a source system to landing tables in the hub store. Okay, and the landing table provides intermediate storage in the flow of data from source system into Informatica MDM hub. So we are getting the data from different sources, and we are storing this data in the landing table. Okay, in the Informatica MDM hub. So landing tables are where the data lands and from contributing source system. Yeah, we discussed. And the land process populates a landing table using one of the following methods. So here we have two methods. Sorry. Yeah, Dhiren sir, are you want to explain it?
Okay, so means like from the source system, we need to load data into the landing table. For that one, we use some ETL tools to extract data and load. So it's like There are two kind of loading happens once the ETL is developed. Maybe it can be a batch processing or online real-time processing. So batch processing means like we will process the data in the batches. Means the bunch of ETL jobs will be clubbed into one and it will be scheduled and then it will be loaded automatically into the MDM. And that's what it is, batch processing. And sometimes it is like the data is very very useful and it need to be loaded immediately as in when it, it gets loaded into the source system. In those cases, we use this like online or real-time processing, which will load the data immediately as it gets loaded into the source system. Okay, next slide. Okay,
Yeah,
this is the typical process. Means just we have put into the like to so where
yeah, here.
we can see different sources are there. Then ETL operations are performed here, and then data gets loaded into the landing table. Next.
Yeah, so it is the graphical representation of landing table. Landing process we can say, because we have the three sources. These are the sources we can say, and we are getting the data in the landing tables using the ETL. And here we can see this is the table, like that we can data we can get in the landing table. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yeah, that is the mapping. So mapping is nothing but we are doing some relationship between the tables. So here we can discuss what is mapping in Informatica MDM. So in Informatica MDM, mapping refers to the process of transforming, cleaning, and loading data from source system into MDM tables. Okay. Source system into MDM tables means what? We are getting the data from landing table and we are uh, putting this data in the source table, and then source table is called auto truncate and load. So it will get the data and it will load in the base object using the mapping. So we are defining here what column will go in what column in next table. Okay, so we are defining using the mapping here. Here we can see in the diagram, we are just doing drag and drop. We are mapping this column with another column in the another table. And here we can also use different cleansing functions. Here we are using one cleansing function in between those tables. These tables we can see. Here we have a cleansing function we can say. So that is the basic meaning of mapping. And basically it defines how the data flow uh, uh, land from the, we can say, data flow in the Informatica MDM from landing table to the base object. Okay, so that is the basic information of mapping. Now let's move to the cleansing functions. So these are the cleansing functions we can see in the diagram. So these all functions we can use in our mapping, and that is the definition we can see here. So cleansing functions in Informatica MDM are used to standardize, format, and clean data before storing in the MDM tables. Okay, so it is nothing but just like a validation. Suppose we are getting data, like we are getting the name of any employee in the table, and the name is just like two space, then name, first name, then two space, then second name, and then more spaces. So it is not a correct data, correct? So we have to remove these spaces and we have to correct this data. So we can use the cleansing functions here. We have different string functions, just like a programming language. Every programming languages, we have different functions related to string and related to math like that. So we have same type of functions in the Informatica MDM also. So here we can use trim and trim left, right like that. So we have different functions for that. Suppose in this example, we can see a row customer record. We are getting the jishan@gmail.com. And before this, we can see here we have the space, correct? And in the next column, we have the mobile number, and here we have dot. And we want to replace this dot with the any character and any symbol. And we want to add the we can say country number, okay, country code we can say. So we can use clean function and we can apply this logic. So that thing we are doing here. And in the diagram, we can see here we are applying some clean functions, and then we are mapping this input record to the output file like that. So that are the, sorry, these are the clean functions, and that are the definitions of clean functions. Okay, let's move to the next process, stage process. Yeah, the answer, can you explain it?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so the stage process basically starts when this data like we we are in the landing area, right? So once the data is in a landing area, we need to load them into the staging area for further processing. For that reason, we have a stage process. So basically, it loads the data from the landing to the stage table, and so there means while loading the data into the staging table, we have to perform certain operations so that we get the correct data and remove the remove the errors. If there is inaccuracy in the data, we need to remove it. For that reason, we have clean functions, we apply the trust and validations, all those things we perform here while loading the data to the staging area. So basically, the stage process read data from the landing table, cleans the data, and moves the cleansed data into a staging table. And here mapping helps a transfer and cleanse of data between landing and staging tables during the stage process. A mapping defines which landing table column the MDM how must use to populate the column in the staging table. A mapping defines the standardization and verification before it populates the staging table. So basically, once uh, we have the data, we load into the staging process after following certain operations. Next.
Correct. Yeah, then we have trust and validation. So trust and validation, just like for this, we can take example. Suppose, as I take example, an entity. So suppose we are getting the data from different sources. Then how we can detect what the record is the correct and what is not. So for this, we can define a trust value for every column and every value. So according to trust value, we can get the trusted record, and we can say golden record. Okay, so basically, in real time, business team will decide what is the trusted record and what is the trusted value for which record. But for basic understanding, we can say trust is used for get the golden record. Which value have the sorry, which record have the we can say maximum trust value. So this record is called golden record. Okay. And validation means we can apply some rules. Suppose we are getting some inconsistent data. So for this, we can define a rule like what type of data we want to display, we want to get. So that is the validation. We can use a different logic which is already defined in the MDM, and we can also write our own logic if we want. So basically, we can say trust setting means this determines the reliability of data from different sources, and each source system is assigned a trust score. Okay, so every source system is designed, assigned a to, trust score, which reflects how much system data is trusted. Okay, and when multiple sources provide conflicting data for the same attribute, So the trust score helps decide which value to prioritize. Okay. So that is the use of trust value. So we can define the trust score for every record. And then we have the validation rules. So these rules are applied to ensure data quality and consistency. And this rule is helps to reserve minimum trust if defined. Suppose we have an example here. So a validation rule might check if a field contains valid value or meet specific criteria if the data fails validation. So it may flagged or excluded from further processing. Okay. So if the record not fulfilling our validation, then it will exclude it. Okay. So that is the basic meaning of trust and validation. And then we have one more statement. Together, these processes ensure that the most accurate and reliable data is used in the MDM hub. Okay, so for the correct and golden record, we have to use both settings, trust and validation rules. Okay, okay, let's move to the next slide. Audit trial and delta detection. Yeah, Dhiren sir, can you explain it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, the data detection actually it helps us to load the data in an incremental fashion. Meaning if the previous data is already loaded, we don't need to load those data again. Only we need to load the new data or any updated data, whatever coming from the landing area, right? So landing table. So for that reason, we have a delta detection, which is basically which stores the data and which stores the data in the previous landing table, right? PRL, and from there it checks whether the data is new or updated. And if data is not new, it will never load the data into the staging area. So this delta detection and also it ensures like only the new and modified data is added into the staging table. And also this loading, and we can only like load the data for the only for the certain period of time, right? So only if we want the data to be loaded for only 3 runs, last 3 runs, 3 loads, and also based on that we can perform this audit trail, right? We can use that audit trail so that data is loaded for certain periods and all those things. So based on the retention period, based on the retention policy, whatever defined by the business, we can keep the history for a certain period of time instead of keeping all the data forever. Only, for example, let's say business say we need only last 3 runs, right? So we can uh, use the like audit trail to keep the history for only last 3 runs. When the fourth run happens, it will remove the previous first run. So likewise, we have other options based on the certain time period. Also, we can keep the history so that we can perform the audit for that purpose, right? So using that, or we have one more options where we can retain the history for a certain period of time. Basically, it tracks duplicate and reject. Even audit trail tracks duplicate and rejected records. So that's what we have in audit trail. Next.
Okay. Then we have match process. Yes, sir. Are you going to explain it?
So then we have once these things happens, we have data in the base object table. There we need to clean up the data and get the golden copy, right? For that one we have certain matching rules set up in the system. So a match process basically it identifies similar or identical records in the base object, determines candidate records for automatic consolidation, determine candidate records for review via data stewards prior to consolidation. So there are match rules. We define some match strategy so that we match the duplicate data, and we identify by remove the duplicacy by using this match process. So match strategy basically we have two types of match strategy available in the MDM. One is exact match. It looks the data for the exact match based on the defined rules. So always it looks like exact match. It basically looks for the identical records, and then those data will be flagged for the those data flagged for the golden. And we have one more match strategy that is the fuzzy match. So basically the fuzzy match it do the probabilistic search. It's like if there are some similarities in the data, based on that we do the wildcard like search, and then we try to match them so that we can get the single copy and remove the unwanted duplicate records, right, and try to make it one. So like this is we can also in the fuzzy match we can utilize the exact match. So fuzzy match also help provide us option to use the exact match also. So we can combine the exact match into the fuzzy match. And once this is done, we are like ready to consolidate the data. So when this match job happens, basically the records keep on moving from the 4 to 3, consolidation indicator 4 to 3, and then after 3 to 2, and then it is available for merging. Next.
Yeah, and in this we have also one more match, which is called complex match. So it is an advanced type of match we will discuss in next issue. Okay, then we have the load process. Load process means we want to load the data from stage table to base object table. Okay, so this process is called load process. So here we can see moves data from staging table to base object in the Hub store. So this is called load process, and apply trust and validation rules to ensure that reliability. So previously we discussed before the loading, we can do the mapping, and we can use the cleansing functions for this. So the data will inconsistent data will remove, and correct data will store in the stage table and then base object table. So that is the load process, and here we can see a staging table is truncate table. So it deletes the data before loading new data set. As I said previously, the stage table is also a truncate and load. Automatically it will truncate it and load it every time when you want to perform the loading process. And here are the steps. Suppose, yeah, here updates existing records based on a trust score, then we can use store process, load process. And if you want to insert a new record into the base object, then we can use the load process. So that is the load process. So if you are updating something, so you can use the load process, and it will update your record, and also it will update your consolidation indicator. Correct. Okay, let's move to the next slide, which is merge process. Yeah, sir, can you explain it?
So basically, once tokenization happens, match job is performed. there are records which need to be merged to make it golden copy, right? So for that reason, we have like merge process. So based on the matching strategy, the consolidation will begin. And then match table, there is MTH table populated with the match record that are identical or duplicate with the row ID object. Once the consolidation indicator in the base object of these records changes from 4, that is new record, to the 3 match record, and then subsequently it will be changed to the 2 when this match process finishes. And then the merge data records are flagged with the consolidation indicator once. So there are like we can say there are multiple processes involved to change this consolidation indicator. And
Yes.
once we have this right based on the trust value, we will we will we will merge those identify duplicate records into the golden records, right? So whatever trust value is higher, those records will be treated as a winner record, and if the trust value is lower, those records are the loser record. So always the higher trust value taken as a golden records. And then we have two kind of merge process based on the setup of the match process, right? So once this is the match process gets completed, either the records whatever used, right, it can be either auto merge or manual merge. So auto merge basically it happens, it can be performed by the data steward team from the data manager, where they go manually merge the records whatever flag for the auto merge. Or I also the data manager can flag those auto merge record for the sorry, the data manager also can, sorry, I will reverse my word. Whatever I was telling, it was for manual merge. So basically,
Yeah.
data manager go for the in the data manager, and then their data steward will go to the data manager, and they will check what are the records flagged for the manual merge. If they want to do the manual merge, they can click on choose that option and click to merge this. I also there is option to send these manual merge for the auto merge, so they can choose whatever they want. And auto merge, it is automatically merged by the system. So in the auto merge there are no human intervention required, because the system itself will merge the records automatically. And there are also tokenization process involved in the match and merge. So before this tokenization process, basically it is for the fuzzy match. And when we trigger the tokenization match, it will look for the probabilistic match candidates and generate the MTCH table where the data will be stored, which will be where this when we run the match job, these data will be used to match the records, to match the duplicate records for the consolidation. Next. Okay,
Yeah,
so
then we have consolidation flow diagram.
yeah. So this is the typical consolidation flow diagram, where we can see like we have the base object table, and then this the tokenization process gets started, and then once tokenization process gets started, the data gets loaded into the strp table, the match key tables, right? That is called the match key tables. And once this match process, then it triggers match process, and once the match process is done, we can see here the data consolidation happens. So basically, this the indicator will get changed from the 4 to 3 2, and then once the data is merged, consolidated, it will be changed to consolidation indicator, change to 1, and that is our golden counts. So I think next slide. I
Yeah,
think
that's all.
we are end of the session, so that's what we have. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So we will meet tomorrow with a new session.